Alright, today guys, we're here with the new event manager and organizer,
And creator.
Alaya and creator, sorry. Tell us a little bit about your Sweet Riddim event.
Um, so it is an event that involves or surrounds culture, Afrobeats, Amapiano, R&B, and hip hop.
Yeah.
Pretty much bring different cultures together because we have such a growing community of Africans, Indigenous people in
100%.
general. I wanted to bring that culture to
Yeah.
Townsville because the clubs
Don't really hold the
don't.
space for it, do
No,
they?
they
Don't
don't.
have a genre around that type of music and
No,
culture.
they don't. And it's ever growing right now. So
100%,
I
100%.
thought, you know what, we need to bring this to Townsville
I like
because,
that.
yeah.
What inspired you to organise an Afrobeats event?
Well, I have a friend in Melbourne that actually runs events similar to this, and he's involved in like all those kind of organizations and events, including like Promised Land and like
Oh, okay.
all that kind of
So
stuff.
you had like a peek into that world and
Yeah, and he
wanted to
really
bring it back.
inspired me to bring it to Townsville, and he was like, you can do it, and I was like, I probably can.
You
So
definitely could.
he really inspired me to push through with that, and here I am.
Too good, too good. How did you go about selecting the venue for event? By the way, we're at Heyday's Cafe here. Cafe. We're at Heyday's Cafe right now in the
Yeah,
top floor where this is a daytime business.
yeah.
How'd you go about selecting your location for the venue?
So, funnily enough, I actually selected Heydays where we are currently in the bottom room
Mm.
downstairs. It's a boiler room type kind of vibe, and I really liked the aesthetic, the intimate space, how it wasn't really too open, so it would bring people in and closer together, kind of like feeding off each other's energy for the night. So I was like, yeah, this is the one. This is the one.
100%, 100%. All right. What were the biggest challenges you faced while organising this event?
Oh my gosh, I really underestimated how long and how much time it was going to take to market, create posts, create engagement in general. Especially with selling tickets, you always run that risk of, as a first event manager or creator at like a not so big town either,
Yeah.
whether this is gonna sell or not. So it was like, am I going to make up for what I've already spent, etc. But in the end, it all worked out. Like I said, we have a growing community of Indigenous people, so because we don't have this event already, I think that's why it was so engaging.
No, 100% agree. What kind of crowd responses are you expecting, or were you expecting? How do you plan to keep the energy right?
I was expecting a good crowd. Like once I seen that all the tickets were sold out, I was like, yeah, we got. I knew, if you go into events in Melbourne and other big cities, especially Promised Land and the events after parties, man, they were lit. Like yeah, and I was like, that's culture, man. Like we bring the vibes.
Yeah, it was definitely a vibe last night. I think it was around like 10 to 11 when it started picking up.
Yeah.
Started having their own little kind of dance off in the middle there. Proper, like,
Yes.
nothing like you see in the clubs here, because usually white people just like they're actually
no, and there was the space to do it too.
Exactly.
It wasn't like
was right,
there wasn't like security that were really like obnoxious and trying to control the crowd. We just it was free flowing, and everyone was able to do and vibe as they wanted to.
100%. Alright, just when we're finishing this off, if you could do one thing differently in planning, what would it be?
What could I do differently? I think it would be venue wise. Like, loved Heydays, don't get me wrong, but it's just wasn't enough aircon. Man, people got hot, vibing too much, but definitely for next venue, considering aircon, Space was good though.
Yeah.
I think that's about it, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you plan to make Afrobeats your only type of event you're gonna want to create, or do you think you'll delve into maybe like some EDM, maybe some classic? Like, do you think that's the only genre you'll stick with?
Probably not EDM. I'd probably stick with Afro beats, just because we don't have that in Townsville, and
Yeah,
I feel like if I
100%.
keep going with that, it'll keep growing. So
Yeah, yeah.
there's already other events that are ran with house EDM, etc. So I don't want to really step in that area and just keep it to
100%. It's very
this.
saturated.
Yeah,
Area of business, isn't
100%.
it?
Yeah, so I think it's a good way to keep it engaged. Is yeah.
Yeah. And you're going to America, and how long is it?
At the end of May.
At the end of May. So, what's your goal to continue this, or after you get back from America? Where do you see yourself going with this?
Honestly, I don't want to give too much away, but I'm just gonna say it's gonna be bigger, better, and vibier as
Too good,
ever.
too good. Thank you very much for listening to you, Ella.
Thank you for having me.
Good luck on your journeys
I
going
appreciate
forward, and
it.
we'll see how it goes.
Also, thank
Too good.
you.